Boom! Welcome back to a bump by bump rundown.
And the wide world of wiggle.
My name is Danny Bedrosian.
George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton.
And as always, you can follow George on his Patreon by checking him out at www.patreon.com/GeorgeClintonPFunk. He's giving away all kinds of unreleased stuff. Right now we're on the unreleased album by the Parliaments from 2000. Originally it was called Don't Techno for an Answer. But these are the original versions without the techno. This is the original way that y'all cut this. I think in Detroit, right? Did you
we started at 8 Mile Studio with that.
Oh, cool.
That was in Mark Bass's house.
Right, Mark Bass. Yeah. And it's some really great stuff. You can't get it anywhere but George's Patreon, so please check out his Patreon. Also, like, follow, and subscribe these videos and hit the bell so you know when new ones are available. We're using my book that was released in 2023 to kind of help us, authorized P-Funk song reference. But I got a new one too, Make My Funk the P-Funk, available at Bloomsbury. Check it out, just came out October 16th. And today, George, hold up that record so they can see, we are talking about the lovely Ruth Copeland and the song, The Silent Boatman.
Yeah. Waiting for the silent boatman. Yeah, Ruth was a good writer. She still's a good writer, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Silent Boatman, her, and Jeffrey Bowen was actually the guy that sang it even in Parliament.
Yes.
He was a striving artist at Holland Dozier Holland, but he ended up being probably one of the best A&R people in the world.
Wow.
Everybody was mad at him all the time. Me and him used to argue about which was a cool way to do shit and which wasn't. And we both was getting high as hell. So,
Rival producers.
But he was probably one of the best A&R, this out of Mickey Stevenson at Motown.
Right.
He learned from him. And he sang that song, Ruth. I guess it was about her part of the European continent.
Yeah.
Northern Ireland, I think it was.
Okay.
That was her thing, and that was basically her. And she and I was collab on both her album and our album.
Right, Osmium by Parliament, which was Parliament's first big album.
Big album, right.
On Invictus, which was Holland Dozier Holland's label.
Holland. That was the closest we could get to Motown. We have been trying to get to Motown forever. But we ran up, Jeffrey was working with Ruth, and they did a lot of good stuff together.
That's awesome. And Jeffrey sings lead on the Parliament version on Osmium. And did he go on to produce some stuff for the Temptations after Norman Whitfield left?
Oh, he did. Him and Barry did Standing on the Top. That's with Rick James.
Yes.
And the Temps together.
The Temps with
that
him.
was Jeffrey Bowen Hike. Matter of fact, he was the one that brought Rick James to Motown. He had tried to get Bootsy
as an A&R guy.
Gotcha. He wanted to sign Bootsy so bad, and really the time he tried, we took off on the mothership and left him there. So Rick James was his version of Bootsy.
That's interesting.
And that was, like I said, the height of Jeffrey Bowen. It's when Norman got really all the hits on the Temps.
Yeah.
And he was the king of the road, and Barry put you back in your spot. He put you back in your spot.
In your place.
He'll show you how he was the one that started the company. Him and Jeffrey, I remember Jeffrey's attitude. We gonna show these youngsters how it's done.
Okay.
And they did that. Rick James standing on the top and got the Temps back on the charts.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And it's interesting that the Rick and Bootsy kind of combo has been or the comparison, I should say. Yeah. Like Rick James, I saw an interview with him where he said he wasn't sure he was going to be able to be a singer until he heard Bootsy sing. And he said, well, if Bootsy's singing, then I can sing too. Because the character, because it was so character-based.
It was characterized.
Yeah. So he knew that was like.
Well, Jeffrey, like I said, Rick was already pretty popular around Toronto, Buffalo, and Cleveland.
Neil Young.
Yeah, Neil Young in the first edition too. He was He was around that Toronto era when we were there.
Interesting.
So he had a following. Jeffrey picked up on that the same way as you would have a following on TikTok you get signed nowadays.
Yeah.
Jeffrey had his ear to the ground for anybody that was doing things.
Interesting.
You know, he actually interviewed myself and Ernie Harris in New York in like 63.
Wow.
That early.
Wow.
You know, when Motown was just getting started.
Was he working for Motown?
He was working for Eddie Holland.
Wow.
And he had, as a matter of fact, I reminded Eddie of that. He said, "Damn, you got a memory." But that's a turning point in your life.
You're going to remember that.
Yeah, you're going to remember just getting a conversation with Motown or Eddie Holland.
Was he like a personal assistant for Eddie Holland at the time?
Yeah, at the time. He was A&R. He did what A&R.
He was still doing A&R.
Yeah, he do it on, you pick up on your own.
Yeah.
You start lacking for whoever's doing, whoever's, and if you got talent, you'll shine.
Yeah, true.
And he had talent because he could sing himself.
Yeah.
He came from the Kenny Gamble and them School of Music out of Philly.
Okay.
So he was no stranger to what's good music.
Yeah.
He knew that, but he sounded like what's the guy boy from the 50s, black guy, really pop. Johnny Mathis.
Oh, Johnny Mathis. Yeah. He does.
That was the height of sophistication.
Yes,
as a lot of people wanted to be crooners.
Yeah, sophisticated crooner.
Yeah, Marvin had that dream.
Yep, he sure did.
You know, so that was Jeff, and he could do it. You could tell on
the Osmium.
Yeah, Waiting for the Silent Boatman. Yeah. He had that down, and at that time we were being influenced by the Beatles.
Yeah,
the whole repertoire of rock and roll. It didn't matter what. There wasn't no pop or R&B. Right. We aspired to be anything we wanted to be by the time this happened, because we had Funkadelic by then.
Yeah.
They only wanted us because they knew we had a pop side of us that we were trying to sell beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so
and you were kind of hiding it on the Funkadelic record,
right.
So this was a chance to kind of show
get
it
in
up.
there. And so once Jeffrey told us, I know where you want to go. I know where you want to go. And,
okay.
You know, so he was reading it like, and they were worthy of that because they had the Supremes, the Four Tops. They lived up in the top 10.
Right, exactly.
You know, so the chairman of the board was just hitting.
Yeah.
So we come along, we're going to be the Black Beatles of this. So that's what Osmium had, all kind of drums of styles of music on it.
And what's Band of Gold? Who's Band of Gold?
Band of Gold was Free to Pain.
Free to Pain. That was the same time.
Yeah, that was at the same. They was up against Motown.
Yes.
They was leaving Motown and coming up against Motown.
It was really Motown's like brothers. Part of the family essentially.
Yeah, and we was finally getting to where we wanted to be. You know.
Yep.
And so that's where that was at.
One thing I noticed about the track, because the track is basically the same as the Osmium, except note that the Parliament version has bagpipes. And the Ruth Copeland version has organ instead.
Yeah. Right. You know, we went way out on the Parliament version.
Yeah, with that bagpipe. I mean, that was like, when have you ever heard bagpipes on a Parliament or P-Funk record?
Right.
But I got Ruth Copeland on lead vocals, the backup vocals of Ruth Copeland and the Choraliers. I think you gave me that information.
Yeah, that was one of them gospel groups.
And then Tal Ross on acoustic guitar, Bernie on organ, Tiki on drums, Billy Bass on bass, and the Detroit Symphony Orchestra.
Right.
You know, and that's
funny. I'm getting ready to go to Detroit and do a song with them. In a couple of weeks.
In January. Yeah, that's right. That's right. The DSO, the famous DSO. Yeah, Ruth Copeland had for those who haven't heard, and we did one Ruth Copeland song before, but for those who don't know, if you get a Ruth Copeland album, you're getting Funkadelic.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah. So much so that when this record came out, they went on tour, Billy, Eddie, Tiki, and Bernie.
With Ruth.
On a Sly Stone tour.
Yes.
They played with her at Madison Square Garden.
Yes.
When Sly got married.
Right.
Yeah, that and Ruth Copeland, that was her first big tour. You know. Yeah, I remember that, and the whole band went with. That's when we finally hooked up with Sly in that.
Yes, and I heard that they took her off the tour because they were kind of killing a little too hard. I've heard that rumor.
I'm not getting into the politics of that. That's another story for real. That's another story for real.
The first time I heard that song, I was amazed at how modern it sounded. You know, that acoustic guitar comes in there.
I think we were, again, like I say, with Jeff and them, and we was reaching way out into the future.
Yeah.
I mean, because, like I said, the Beatles had opened the door to all the way to the classical music.
Right.
And, you know, movie score sounding tracks.
Yeah.
So they had opened it up wide, and so we were able to do stuff that wouldn't even sound right until years later.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like it could have been cut in the 90s. It was cut in 70.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe even...
Early 70s.
Early 70s.
That was 69.
69. It came out in 70. Yeah. Uh-huh. And it's also... it's the same time that y'all are cutting Free Your Mind at Westbound.
That's what I'm saying.
So it
was extremely... We had freed our mind.
Yeah.
You know, and then come right back and do that.
Yeah. And those are probably the two most
Beatles. And then you get
influence.
Maggot Brain album.
Yeah, right after.
Wars of Armageddon, which is still a little bit of that left in us.
Oh yeah.
But we're still like edging back towards airplay.
Yeah.
You know, some kind of the cosmic slot. We knew we was being considered to be on the radio.
Right.
We weren't trying to be on the radio up until then.
I mentioned in the new book, and I just think it's an interesting point to make. And I don't think we talked about it here, but maybe we did. When One Nation came out, you know, because it became the biggest P-Funk hit of all time, and you put it on Funkadelic because you wanted it to be a movement. But up until that point, Funkadelic was not the hit machine. Parliament
was the hit machine.
And it's interesting because do you know what the biggest charting Funkadelic single was before One Nation?
What was it?
I Bet You.
Yeah, right.
Wow, this stuff on the first album.
Yeah. No,
So,
I bet you was a big record. Didn't you know how they give you chart credits and stuff like that?
Right. It didn't make number one, but it's the highest it charted until
it was
One
like
Nation.
number one on most stations.
Oh, yeah, in Detroit especially.
Yeah, and through that whole corridor.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland,
Chicago,
Buffalo. It was, I bet you, so much so that the Jacksons did it on their first album.
Exactly.
When they came.
And I mean, they did it, it had to have been months after.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't long.
It wasn't a good year.
It wasn't, because the first Funkadelic album is like 69, and then the ABC by the Jacksons is early 70.
Yeah, like
it's just not even a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I noticed that too. That's pretty interesting. But this is a special time. For those who don't know much about P-Funk recordings at this time or the spin-off groups of P-Funk, this is probably the primordial P-Funk spin-off of that era.
Yeah, Ruth Copeland.
Ruth Copeland. That's probably your best.
She got, like I said, on tour with Sly Stone.
Right.
Right off the bat, which we were headed, you know, minus the politics that came about.
Yeah, right. And this is half a decade before Bootsy's Rubber Band.
Oh,
so this is, you know, this is one of the first big spin-offs of the 70s.
Oh, yeah, she got with William Morris. They were able to sign her up with William Morris. Had us signed up with William Morris before Call My Baby Pussycat was to come out.
Wow, as a single?
As the single. It was supposed to, you know, but all that was part of the politics of a story that will be told. That's very interesting.
Okay, cool. And then what can you say about Ruth Copeland today? She's still around, right?
Yes, I see her on the internet every now and then. I forget where she's at.
Where did we see her appear?
She appeared a couple of places that different members of the band have talked to her and everything.
Oh, the Sly Stone documentary? Was that the last thing we seen?
Yeah, that's the last thing I saw.
Yeah. Because that's pretty recent.
Yeah. Questlove did that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's the one who told me he'd seen her, but
But
somebody from the band said they had seen and talked to her. Yeah.
Wow. So check this one out, you guys. It's a rare one, but it's not super rare. It's pretty easy to find, and you may have already heard the Parliament version, the Silent Boatman. But we're talking about the Ruth Copeland version. And, please like and follow and subscribe to these videos. Hit the bell so you know when new ones are available. We do a new one every month, y'all. and we're promoting George's Patreon. Remember, the Patreon patrons are getting these videos a month before everybody else. So if you get something like, if you're looking for I Am What I Am or Self-Portrait by Ruth Copeland, and you can't find it on Amazon or eBay anymore, it might be because the patrons got their hands on it before anybody else, because that's the way to get the inside track on the rare cuts that we're showing you guys on this show. So until next time, I'm Danny Bedrosian.
George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton.
You have been bumped.
Wide world of wiggle.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Kiss me on my ego.